want to be very sincere, there has been a lot of transfers between these two clubs over the years. You know, Arsenal do buy from Chelsea, Chelsea do buy from Arsenal. This is a symbiotic relationship. You get my player, I get your players. Now, but what is this fuse all about? You know, Arsenal fans saying every Chelsea player that has come to play in their club has been players that are not good, and then they should stop doing business with Chelsea and everything like that. And then it was crazy. Now, when you say every, that is where I have problem. Now, it is the decision of your club to have interest in a player. You understand? Because now, if I believe that a lot goes into just selecting a player that a club wants to buy. I believe that the club will have looked at the player. The manager also look at his own pattern and look at the way the player plays, how the player can best suit the formation, you know, the strategy of the club. It's not just a decision that you make over the night. You have to, everybody needs to be aware, the manager especially needs to be aware of the player that is coming, the kind of profile of player that he wants in his squad. Now, whereas, there are certain players that can be bought even after statistics and everything telling you that it's good and everything, and at the end of the day, it will still come bad. Everything will still turn south. It's normal. It can happen to any player that you buy from any club. You understand? Now, but to now generalize the fact that Chelsea have now turned Arsenal to a dumping ground, that's where I'm having issue. Now, it's the real question we are supposed to be asking is that if you are saying all the Chelsea players that Arsenal have bought so far, that they are useless. Now, what about the players they've left alone, the forgotten player, the player that you guys don't value, that we have turned to potential champions? So many of them. And in a recent time, let me talk about Olivier Giroud. I think Chelsea bought Olivier Giroud I think for 30 million euro and 30 million pounds. And even the transfer, it came as a shock to Chelsea fans because this is post-ban. You know, the season that we were banned, we couldn't buy a player and everything. Lampard did his wonder, and then we were able to qualify for the Champions League and everything. And then Olivier Giroud had to come through the door then from Arsenal. And the truth of the matter is that most of the Chelsea fan base were not in support. They were not happy with the signing of Olivier Giroud. But now this is a player who has gone ahead to carry the Champions League in Chelsea amidst other titles. And these are things that they find difficult to achieve when they play for Arsenal. So now, this is a club problem. This is a mindset problem. This is a mentality problem. William Gallas has played for Chelsea. You know, so many players. In fact, at a point, Fabregas came from Barcelona to Arsenal for him to, you know, get back to the team because that was where he left from to go to Barcelona. But now when Barcelona rejected him, Arsenal also rejected their own player. This is a player that played from Arsenal from childhood. No, like he started, not let me say childhood, but he started playing for Arsenal at a very young age. You understand? And then they could not take him back. It was Chelsea that took him. And what happened at the end of the day? We made him a potential champion. We make him know that at least he has not carried a Premier League in Chelsea in Arsenal. He got Premier League in Chelsea. Now, when you look at the number of players that has come from, look at Ashley Cole. If you look at the number of players that has come from Arsenal to Chelsea, how we turn them around and then we make them champion, you will understand that this is club problem, not on the player. Now look at the players that we have sold to Arsenal. In fact, there are some of the players that we don't trust. Some players, actually, not all. And then there are some players that are doing well when they left Chelsea and they go to Arsenal and they became a normal player. They became an average player. It's a mindset problem that Arsenal are having. You understand? And a strategy problem. And then look at let me say the mentality of Chelsea, of the players that are leaving Chelsea. You know, they must have done something and then they must have achieved a lot. Look at Madueke that they are talking about now. He has achieved a trophy in Chelsea. Now he's going to Arsenal that are dreaming, that are hoping. You understand? That have been consistently finishing second in the table for 3 seasons. And they have not been able to do anything. That is the team he's going to. So now, if anything happens, at the end of the day, you will say that the players are not good. It's a club problem. You know, mentality not good for Arsenal. Let's say the truth. You have the potential to turn a very good player to a worthless player. And then, whereas in our own way, it is not like that. We always turn players that are not good enough or who have a very limited mentality to a world-class player. So now problem with that. Now problem, and for so far so good. In fact, there has been news that we have been getting that the valuation for that Arsenal believe that the valuation for Noni Madueke in the current market, 50 million is not a bad price. And of course, look at what is happening. We can say, okay, this player edge a player, but at least if we are talking of Mohamed Kudus, if we are talking of Noni Madueke, if we are talking of Morgan Gibbs-White, all these players, they are almost the same kind of profile of player, but you understand, but based on the quality, the end product, that is where you can say that player like Mohamed Kudus goes ahead of Noni Madueke. Morgan Gibbs-White, it is the final product. You understand? But when you are talking of team play, when you are talking of 1v1 and everything, Noni Madueke is of course within the mix. So of course that one concerning Unashao, but Noni Madueke is going to. I see Noni Madueke deal happening. The chance of it happening rather is higher than the chance of Arsenal signing a Gyökeres, because they see that okay, he's young and everything, and then the money, Arsenal now believe that money. See, anyway, money just bring money, more cash out. So that's just the thing. But for me, I don't believe that Arsenal is a dumping ground, because the same way that this, okay, look at Jorginho, the way he went to Arsenal now. Kovacic also went to Manchester City, and the shocking aspect of it is that Kovacic has been doing well for himself. Is he not the same Chelsea player? Do you know how many Chelsea players has gone ahead to do great things in other clubs, and then when they come to Arsenal, they feel more relaxed? Do you want to tell me now that Willian is not a good player? Willian that was formerly in Arsenal. Do you want to tell me that it's not a good player? You are the one that doesn't have the mentality. You don't have the killer mentality to always go for things. So now at the end of the day, if they don't perform well, and then now meanwhile, you know that you did not buy Sterling from us. You didn't buy Sterling. So that is that for that news. Me, I don't believe that Arsenal are dumping ground, and whatsoever your club are doing, to buy all these players, they need to also be checking themselves well. But anyway, we are always making money from Arsenal. It's a normal thing. If we are not beating them, we are selling players to them. So it's a very fine thing for me. Abi, what do you guys think? Now there has been transfer rumors. Kudus was supposed to, be Chelsea bound, but now for him, I think Tottenham are offering him a huge cash, and then he has now finally finished the first part of his medical as a Tottenham player. So here we go for him. How do I see him play in Tottenham? I think he's going to have a very nice time in Tottenham, other than title struggle. Kudus is a good buy for Tottenham. Of course, I don't know, maybe since they have carried their own Europa League now, maybe they will have more chances. You understand? But at least that team is going to be very solid. And on top of that, Morgan Gibbs-White for 60 million has also gone to Tottenham as of today. And here we go. Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest is now officially heading towards Tottenham Hotspur. So now, so far so good under Thomas Frank. They have been able to sign some decent players. And then the partnership between Morgan Gibbs-White and Mohamed Kudus is just going to flourish with some of the players that they have bought. So far so good. So that is the news concerning them. And then for my club, Petrovic has decided to leave Chelsea and then agree his personal terms with Bournemouth. I think the club to club agreement is currently being done. Is heading towards Bournemouth. They are currently waiting for Chelsea green light to approve the transfer. But I think the player has also agreed his personal term, and everything is done. They're just waiting for club to club now. And I think bid also has been sent. Also. Now, a player Chelsea signed last season, Mathis Amougou, he was within the squad, but he didn't play. I think he played a couple of minutes in the second half. I think I only saw him for one match. I don't know if he played up to 2, but I remember he playing one second half of the match. And that was all. I think now Chelsea have agreed to send him to Strasbourg permanently. I like our model, sincerely. I like Chelsea's model because they buy player, they have a club to develop the player. Any player that Chelsea buys that cannot play within the first team or needs an experience gets sent to Strasbourg. You understand? And if he tries and he performs brilliantly, gets sent back to Chelsea. And if he doesn't perform, gets sold to Arsenal. Simple. It didn't contradict what I said. Doesn't make the player not good, but maybe the level. Maybe the level of what Chelsea wants a player to hit, he doesn't hit it. So you go to Arsenal. Arsenal not they carry trophy, so they can manage some of the players that we can't manage. But it doesn't make the player bad. There's a level. You understand? There's a level to these things. You get my point now. So that's the latest on the transfer rumors today. And then here we goes. And then Arsenal, it's not a Chelsea dumping ground. You understand? To me, to the best of my knowledge, but the club needs to work on the mentality of the team to win titles. That is the problem. If not, you see an outstanding player become an ordinary or an average player.